Hello and welcome to yet another vlog. I am starting in my car. It is about 4 in the afternoon. I have to run to the bank real quick to go sort out some errands. I need to go exchange some US dollar to Japanese yen and handle something with my account. But yeah, so it's actually, the lighting's really good right now, but it's actually like really gloomy. It's probably gonna rain today if I can focus out there. Most likely it will rain later tonight. Anyways, like I said, I got some errands to run. I'm all decked out in blue today, except for the beige jacket. Even like, I like to color code with the watch and everything. So this is like one of my babies right here. This is the Rolex Datejust. Normally it's on the what do you call that? The Jubilee bracelet, but the two-tone Jubilee bracelet. But this is, I just put it on a leather strap. I think it just looks a little bit classier that way, and it has the diamond. This is the blue vignette edition, so it has that dark blue face. But yeah, anyways, as you haven't guessed, I'm a huge watch enthusiast, and to be honest, like, my collection like is very, very low end. I mean, not to say like Rolex is a very obviously high brand, but like there's still a whole bunch of other brands that I would love to what do you call that, own, and even just try on, because it's kind of like anything else you get into. Like, you think you know, not to say, again, Rolex is a very, very nice watch and brand and history and all that, but it's like when you think, of course, like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini is a nice car, but then, you know, the real enthusiasts, there's a whole bunch of other cars out there. There's Aston Martin, there's Bentleys, there's, you know, all these different type of luxury brands, and the same with watches. There's Audemars Piguet, there's Arnold and Son. There's just so many watches out there. There's so much, and they cost a fortune. And maybe one day I'll be adding those to my collection. Anyways, that being said, I'm gonna get to the bank because they close in an hour, and then be heading back, finish some work, and then I gotta head out for that party I was talking about yesterday. This is an interesting angle. Anyways, I just got out of the bank, and I want to film low-key because there's people parked on my left and right, because I think it's all people do when you leave the bank. You kind of want to verify your cash, even though, I don't know, especially me, like, I have this paranoia thing, like, even if it's like, I guess getting too much isn't a bad thing, but or just, you know, making sure the count's right. So these are $10. What $10 look like in Japanese yen? So that's $10. I had to break 100 to get $10 because I don't know, I'd rather break it and have several than having to break it later on for a small purchase. I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyways, that's what $10 looks like, and these are the $50. So just to get a look at the Japanese currency, much more bigger and all of that, but not too bad. Simple design. I again, hands down to Canadian money. I don't know what they call the Canadian money, but that's by far my favorite currency. Anyways, got my money broken down before the bank closed, so I have 20 minutes or so left, or before it closed. And not that there's a lady walking by on my left. Not that it's irrelevant, but the bank teller was super young, and I guess she'll never watch this, so it doesn't matter, but ridiculously cute. But I don't know, it's like, not that it amazes me, like, you can't be, whoops, sorry, no copyright infringement. Anyways, not that it surprises me, like, that you can be so young and a banker, but I don't know, she looked like, literally, like, you know when you see people working in places, like, they're like early 20s, and not to say like you have to be old to work at a bank, that either. And again, no disrespect to the lady, she was just really good looking, and I will probably never see her again. Oh, not again. This is actually a really small island, but not just that fact, the fact that I barely go to this bank, because this is on the Air Force Base. Anyways, that's a sidebar story, not really relevant, but back home it is. Onward with the weird angles. I really do miss my Mercedes. I had like a perfect spot for the camera, but here I have to put it like in the center dash, and I'm off to the right. Anyways, just got gas on my way back home. Got a half tank of gas, because where the party's at is kind of far, so wanted to fill up, or at least halfway, so I don't have to worry about it later on. But anyways, what do you call that? I wanted to talk about, you know, it's been a while since I just kind of like talked to the camera in the vlogs or while I'm driving, because that's obviously when a lot of my thoughts kind of just pop up. But anyways, regarding that, you know, I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, luxury items, and earlier I was talking about the watches and stuff like that, and I know, you know, to each their own, obviously. Like, some will find that as unjustifiable, some will understand. Like, it's everybody has their interests. Everybody has an area where, their money goes into. Maybe it's cars, maybe it's watches, maybe it's clothes, whatever it is. And I've talked about this in the past, but I kind of want to talk about like why when I was younger, I never really minded nice things. Like, not so much as when I started working out for myself. I remember growing up, like, I grew up in a middle class household. My dad, liked nice things. Obviously, I saw that in them. They came from the Philippines. They didn't have much. So I could see growing up that obviously when he worked hard for nice things, he would enjoy them. Even if we're not, rich or very well off, he would work hard for it. And, just simple things like belts, watches, all of that good stuff. And, when I was into skating and all that, I didn't really care about that. I kind of followed the trends as you do when you grow up and go into high school, etc., etc. Like, what's in, you kind of just, buy clothes or your friends buy clothes, all of that stuff. And it wasn't until I started working for myself that I appreciated, like, I got my own, not only own style and stuff like that, just, like, my own appreciation for the things I like. I didn't really care if other people liked it or understood it. I mean, nowadays, like the last couple of weeks, Monday through Thursday, I'm in a suit, whether I'm at home or I'm going out, because that's the uniform. And people know that by now, who know me at least. And, regarding nice things, obviously working for myself early on, starting at 11 and getting an income around like 12, 13, and then obviously being more financial independent walking into high school, it was nice to buy things, I'm not going to lie. And here's the thing with nice things. Yes, they're not required to make a living. Like, you don't need the best of the best to get by. A regular shirt and all that stuff will get you by. And hang on, I'm turning into my house here. I need to be careful. Anyways, like the simple things in life, yeah, they'll get you by. Hang on, now I gotta pull over to the left here. Hang on, I just want to make sure. Oh, never mind. He's gonna. Thank you very much. Sorry, Japanese are so kind when it comes to the rules of the road. Anyways, like I was saying, as I pull into my driveway here, nobody's even back yet. Oh no, somebody's home. What do you call that? Oh, never mind. Sorry, I keep on getting sidetracked. Nobody's home yet. Anyways, like, here's the thing. Like, yeah, like, I can have this and I can have that, and it doesn't make me any better in terms of my lifestyle. Like, if I have this car and they have this car, no, it's like they're cars that get you from point A to point B. But I like to appreciate things that I'm going to put my money into. So yes, like, I can get a simple car, or I can save up and get this, or it's something that I value, something that I like, something that I feel good, not just driving, but anything. I feel good owning, and I feel good working for all of those things. See, that's the same principle I have with my watches. Like, I work for them, and everything else I buy, whether it's clothes, even electronics, like, you're going to go online and you're going to have people say things like, oh, you wasted money on that. Like, whether it's an Mac or a PC, maybe a gaming PC. Like, you could have done this, you could have done that. Yeah, I could get this, I can get that, I can get this simple thing versus that branded thing. It's just, I like those things. Like, again, to each their own. People have their tastes, and, I wanted to bring this up also because I recently just started doing, like, hauls and unboxings of, like, luxury goods that I've been buying. And I'm already anticipating that people on there are going to be like, why would you spend this much for a belt? Why would you spend this much? I can get the same thing. Yeah, you can. And yes, they both serve the same purpose. It's just, I like this one. And and it's not the brand. Yes, a part of the brand name is because other people recognize it. That's the reason people have ladies' purses that, like, they do, like the Louis Vuitton purses and this and that, because people recognize those brands. But, it's also just I appreciate the brand, and yeah, it's cool to be recognized and all that, and people understand that, that you worked hard to get it or whatever, but at the same time, it's like, I appreciate it. I appreciate the work that goes into the watches. I appreciate the work that goes into the belts, cars, whatever it is. Anyways, that was pretty long-winded. My dad literally just pulled up next to me as I'm filming this, and there's my mom pulling up on my right side. They just, like, both came on each side. If you can see here, the left, and then the right. My mom's right there driving. So I'm gonna cut this vlog short, or this clip short. Not short, it's been 5:30. Anyways, I will catch you guys in a bit. Alright guys, and here we are again as I'm driving. You are my center console here. Anyways, it's about 7 o'clock. I'm about 10 minutes away from my friend's house, and I'm gonna be picking her up. She's gonna be riding with me down to the party. Everybody's kind of meeting up at 8 o'clock, so I just wanted to get her early so we can get to the place. And that will probably be the end of the vlog. Like I said, I don't want to, not just for like, obviously it's a party and other people, but I don't want to like, I want to respect other people's privacy and of course enjoy the party myself, because of course these vlogs are a look at my life. There has to be some privacy to it, but not only that, it's just you also got to remember to live life. You know, I try to practice this thing more and more, that my phone is I view it as a barrier at times, especially social media and all that. And I love social media, but you know, it's like this kind of funny comic I read about a guy who took this, like, it was this comic strip. I don't know where it was from. I just remember he's taking a picture of this like beautiful sunset thing, and he's all isolated in this kind of really nice view, and he's talking about how it's so isolated and you know, he's by himself and it's nice, it's nature. And then he goes and takes out his phone, and then he's like, oh, I gotta capture this for Instagram. And you know, it's nice to share moments like that, but also at the same time, solitude, like, and not just being alone, but being out. Like, you got to remember to live life too, you know. Of course, that's the most important thing. Anyways, that aside, I just dropped off my dad at a Freemasons meeting. He's a Mason, if you haven't already figured and seen by the logos on my car, or I think I've talked about in the past. So yes, I am confirming, as my camera slides there, confirming my, what do you call that, involvement with the Illuminati. Obviously, I hope you sense the sarcasm there. Anyhow, I'm going to turn on the light here. They drive down this, it's a really small side road here, so you can see me a little bit better. Yeah, and we had, you know, really interesting conversation about Bitcoin and about a lot of things in general regarding my business. And see, here's the thing. I'll be completely honest with you guys and transparent, because that's the reason I do these. Early on in my business, I started very young, obviously. I had no real fear in the world, and obviously I could have bounced back because I had no responsibilities. So it made me feel invulnerable, really, starting at 11, 12 years old. And that being said, when I started, I had financial goals, of course. I had goals like any kid who wants to be financially independent. You want to pay for your own things. Maybe it's because you don't get a good, you know, allowance. Maybe you don't have an income source when you're only 11 or 12. You want to pay for things, and as you grow up more and more, you want to have your own money, and it's nice to pay for your own things. Not everybody's like that, but I wanted to earn my money, and I wanted to say I paid for my education, because originally my plan was to go to college. A lot of that changed as my business grew and expanded and became more profitable, obviously. But as I was growing up, I was very secretive in the fact of my nature of my business, and not like it was a bad, you know, it's just that I think a lot of people, including friends, etc., like, they saw it just like myself. It was seen as a hobby. And of course, people, my family included, never expected it to be what it would be today. And I wanted to prove to them that this was more than just a hobby. Not saying they didn't support it or anything. I just wanted to show that I could take this from a hobby and make it more successful. So I was very secretive in my nature of profits, the money I was making at a younger age, and all of this stuff, until it was legally obligated that I had to get my parents involved, because again, I wasn't of age to do certain things financially. So as I grew up, I was, you know, I'm fortunate. My family was never gave that, you know, pressure or obligation to me that I had to help with this or that. You know, I was raised that way, and I definitely appreciate that. Even though they knew at a young age I was making, and at the point where I became financially independent, I was never thrown the responsibility of helping where, you know, this, there, and the other. And obviously, I want to help back in any way I can, and I do whenever I can. Not just financially, but in general, because I can never, obviously, repay them back here. But what I'm getting at is, a hard thing about me growing up business-minded, I'm very disciplined when it comes to my business to my parents. I don't cross boundaries where I don't need to. And at the same time, like I said, I'm willing to help them out where I can and to the capacity that I can help them out with. But here's, you know, the fact of it is sometimes, you know, while it seems like my favorite line from The Godfather, which I had to use recently, you know, it's not personal, it's business. And that can sound really crude and harsh, and even dealing with family, I'm just giving as an, you know, example. It's a hard line to draw, because a lot of my personal life gets involved with my business, because I want to help out on the personal side of things, but again, I also have an obligation to my business. I have an obligation to people I need to pay. I have an obligation for projects and all of these things. So, you know, that comes with the territory, of course. But at the same time, I'm glad I was raised the way I was. I'm glad I did the things I did when I was growing up. Not just to the fact that, you know, I proved a point to people, but it made me who I am today. And despite, you know, being hard on the business mindset and all of that, I'm coming to the point now where I can provide, not just for myself. You know, financially independent is one thing. To be independent for yourself, to pay for your living, to pay for your food, to pay for the clothes on your back, and not in the case of a roof over my head, because I live with my family still. But to be independent to a point where you can help others unconditionally, not worrying, that's another level to me of success. That's another level of financial independence. You can help others, and not just family, but people who are close to you in general. You can donate, you can give to charity. Those are things that I'll be honest, never envisioned originally, because I was out there for myself. And that took me a long time to learn. That took a lot of, you know, failures and successes, but I'm glad where I am right now. And hopefully it only goes up from here. So that's a little life lesson from me in the last 6 minutes. I've been parked outside my friend's house. I'm going to text her now and let her know I'm here. And with that, guys, I thank you for watching this vlog. And yeah, I do like to get personal every now and then, because these are personal vlogs. And I felt like I've talked to YouTube, and when I say that, I mean my audience, my community, for the last 8 years of my life. And you know, while I don't disclose everything, as you know, I don't need to, of course, and I don't need to disclose anything personal, I feel like a lot of you viewers, etc., are the reason I'm so open and everything today, is because you really, this has brought me to the point I am now. I would have been here without YouTube. I would have been the person I am today, the personality I have today, if it wasn't due to the fact of being so open and broadcasting yourself, as YouTube calls it, on the internet. Anyways, guys, this has been a really long vlog, and I will catch you all in tomorrow's.